Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 between Yumiko and Nicker. Game 2 taking place here on Turtle Rock. We see Nicker spawning as the red night elf, Yumiko spawning as the blue human on Turtle Rock, Nicker at the 9 o'clock location, Yumiko here at the 5 o'clock location. So far, so good in this matchup. Game number 1 really, I think, came down to just misuse of archers early on. And from that, Yumiko was able to really start snowballing from there. Will this continue to happen in game number 2? That is the question as game number 2 gets underway. All right. So far, nothing out of the ordinary from any of these particular players as of yet. Altar of Kings coming down. We are going to most likely be training up an Archmage. And are we going to perhaps see another Dark Ranger coming in from Nicker? We notice that he is not going for an Altar of Elders. He should probably be building that right about now. And if he does build that right about now, then we know he is going for a Tavern Hero. Now, he did do fairly well with that Dark Ranger early on, and with Turtle Rock being a little bit larger, he may actually benefit from trying to clear out clear out more creep camps. Now you can see that Nicker is kind of building close to home, close to the chest, so to speak, because he doesn't want to get militiaed. The militia has turned the corner and saw that his opponent has not spawned over there, so he knows that it is either cross spawn or a full cross spawn on the other side of the map. That is going to be important to note as we are looking at an archer now looking to take control of the center. There is a footman down over here as well, and the footman does deal significant damage in these matchups as the footman now races off to the north. All right, the archer is back over here. The archer does notice that the footman has run by. The archer is now going to make his way or her way over to the tavern and pick up is it going to be the 2-minute 15-second mark? I believe so. No, wow, a little bit of a delay there. There it is. The Dark Ranger now out on the field. Meanwhile, the Archmage now going to clear up that one poor creep camp unit there. All right, what's happening? There was a detonation, and oh, wow, that water elemental so close to dying does not end up falling, and actual regeneration from that water elemental will let it live and fight another day, at least against these giant sea turtle creep camp. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Dark Ranger attempting to clear out this creep camp here. Skeletal minions making their way through. There goes another, as we now see 3 skeletal minions and a gauntlet of ogre strength. Dark Ranger will have to work very quickly to try and get a significant hero advantage, as that's what the Dark Ranger really needs. We should be taking the tier 2 pretty shortly here after this Tree of Life is done to try and get those dryads. Meanwhile, we see already that Yumiko is coming in for some more militia clearing, as well as the Dark Ranger is already behind in level. The Archmage will be very close to level 3 after this creep camp. Meanwhile, the Dark Ranger is just now at level 2, but the Dark Ranger does have Claws of Attack +6. All right, where are the units going? Are they perhaps going to head over to this Ogre Magi creep camp down over here? Now is the perfect opportunity to do exactly that. You know that your opponent is far away, and that is what we're seeing here. Going after the Ogre Warrior, Ogre Magi being forced to run around the far side. You can see that the Ogre Magi actually going after some of the ensnared units, as the Ogre Magi is going to fall here and drop that Rune of the Watcher. Very important for that Dark Ranger to keep track of what's going on. All right, Ring of Regeneration does regenerate a lot of hit points very quickly, but most likely will be sold, as a lot of professional players don't really like that item all too much. Dark Ranger gets a little bit of a lucky break there, picks up a Tome of Experience, and now is wandering around the other direction. Dark Ranger has to be extremely careful here. Skeletal Minion may get taken down. Yes, it will in fact get taken down, as the archers are now perhaps trying to run back over here as well. Arcane Towers low on, or going to be very vulnerable. You can see an Arcane Vault is being sped built. Archmage is trying to get into position. The Dark Ranger is already headed over there now, and will the Dark Ranger be able to do enough damage? Going after the lower hit point peasant first. Very important call there, and it looks like that one peasant will get taken down. Going after more here, and this is going to start to become a problem. All right, going after an additional unit. That one poor peasant, is it going to get taken down? Yes, it does. The Arcane Tower is now up, though, and I don't think that Yumiko or Nicker realized how close that Dark Ranger was, or how close that Arcane Tower was. The militia are going to be able to easily handle this, and Nicker, now running back with a very, very low hit point Dark Ranger, needs to readjust their strategies. All right, Nicker now coming back across here. The archers are all relatively low on hit points since they are low hit point units. Dark Ranger now heading back as we are getting the Tree of Ages and getting into an Ancient of Wonders. Arcane Vault is done. You see the Town Hall is now done, or is now started, excuse me. And we are looking at Yumiko in the driver's seat of this game, hoping to make this game go long and turn it into an economic game. So far, Nicker with a level 3 Dark Ranger. Is she going to perhaps drop the Gauntlet of Ogre's Strength, and then, or should buy a Clarity Potion at the very least, in order to try and replenish that mana? Tavern Heroes are rather mana intensive, and didn't even bother dropping the Gauntlets of Ogre's Strength. Rather surprised by that. Also surprised by the fact that she went after the lower Moonwell, or the higher Moonwell, when there was a full Moonwell right nearby. Alright, Dark Ranger right there. In comes the Panda. Are we going to see a Breath of Fire? That Breath of Fire would be absolutely perfect right now. We're not quite sure what's going on. There you go, finally, as we see the Ancients of Lore are now actually, this one Ancient of Lore actually getting focus fired rather quickly. I was not suspecting this. 2 Water Elementals making their way back over there. That one Water Elemental, that Time Life, is going to become very, very close, and the Ancient of Lore sitting all right so far. All right, the Archmage now attempting to run back. The Dark Ranger getting in some easy shots, and it looks like one more shot will do it. There is a Dark Minion, 290 hit points, essentially as strong as a ghoul, as the Footmen are now being forced to run back here. All right, very low hit point Ancient of Lore going to eat some trees, replenish that cell count, and try and heal back up, and perhaps get some additional Dryads. That's going to be important for those water elementals. Now that strategy will continue to work as long as the Archmage does not get to level 5. Once the Archmage gets to level 5, all bets are pretty much off, as the Archmage and those water elementals are just far too many hit points. All right, water elemental attempting to slide away will end up dying due to Time Life, as the Dark Ranger still going after those units there, and the Scout Tower now being completed down here. So far, it looks like Yumiko is in dominant control. He's going to go very, very heavy on the towers, just kind of turtle up for a little bit, and then perhaps come back over the top with a much, much stronger army. Troll Trapper will get taken down here. Panda will clear it out. I don't believe an item will be left behind. No, Dark Ranger still sitting at level 3, as we're looking at a number of Footmen coming in across the center. Archmage now looking to perhaps rush in here. You can see dual Ancients of Lore. One actually going for some bears, and there is a Moonwell used right there, as the Wisp is now trying to hide along the backside, able to do exactly that. And now what is happening next? Are we getting into Dryads? Yes, we do see one Dryad off over here. This Water Elemental is trying to make its way all the way to the back here, and now attacking this poor Dryad, and the Ancient of Lore is going to be attacking here. All right, the Footmen are all in here as well. This could be extremely bad news, as the Wisp is going to be taking a lot of damage. Dryad, is it going to be able to, yes, abolish it down, and now going after the Footmen. The Footmen are actually suffering from a little bit of slow poison. Meanwhile, what is happening here? Low hit point Water Elemental now able to turn back around. We can see level 2 on the Panda, as we are clearing out a creep camp here as well. Panda at level 2, Dark Ranger sitting at level 4, as the Archmage is only sitting at level 3. So far, Nicker doing a great job getting back into this game, setting up an expansion of his own, but I believe that his opponent, Yumiko, knows about it. That is never a good sign when your opponent knows about your expansion. It never seems to work out all too well, as the Archmage now making its way over. All right, Archmage going to attempt to take down this Giant Sea Turtle. Giant Sea Turtle going to be able to clear this out pretty much without any issue. Meanwhile, Footman now running back off to the north, as we see double bases for Yumiko and his very, very strong positioning. All right, no real direct action in between these two players right now. So far, the Archmage is just running around. You can see that the archers are down over here as well, both of them on their neck of the woods. And if this expansion does get up and running, then that's going to be extremely good news for Nicker, obviously. The problem is that we can see Yumiko has really fortified himself very, very deeply, and with so many guard towers, these bases are not going to be falling anytime soon. Also, getting the advanced masonry upgrade means that these towers are going to be sitting rather pretty for quite some time. Now, the Dark Ranger could try to get to level 5, maybe even level 6, and if it does that, it could get Charm. Charm is an extremely powerful ability, instantly stealing one of your opponent's units. As we can see, the Ogre Warriors are falling. Druid of the Claw, the mastery training is now done. Panda gonna pick up that Tome of Experience there, getting very close now to level 5 or level 4. Meanwhile, the Dark Ranger herself is not that far from level 5 either, and they are still going on to creep some rather difficult creep camps. Alright, Archmage doing the same thing, level 4 on the Archmage, and we can see that the Forest Troll Warlord is going to fall there. Alright, True Shot Aura will be left behind. Oh, a couple of footmen took a lot of damage there. Not quite what was expected. Now sitting at 45 over 54. Meanwhile, the Panda, sitting at level 3 right now, will get to level 4. Also has a Pendant of Energy. Gonna be plenty of mana here as we are now attempting to clear out this Ogre Lord creep camp. Level 4 on the Panda. I don't know where the Dark Ranger is. The Dark Ranger actually letting the Panda get all the experience there to try to get to level 5. But if we see a whole bunch of Spellbreakers come out from Yumiko, this will pretty much be all for naught. Entangled Goldmine is still just pretty much getting entangled right now. There's some detonation. Oh, another detonation there. Another detonation may be coming in as well. There is the building of a Moonwell. And what is happening here? Oh, jumping inside there finally. Is it going to jump inside? Yes, it does. And it is starting to finally mine as we see the Mountain King make its way down over. All right. The Wisp are attempting to just harvest gold in here. We should see a little bit of repairing come in here in just a moment. There is the bit of repairing, and it looks as though more Wisp will still be added. Mountain King now making its way over. 58 over 66 supply. Where is all of his army? I don't really see it. A lot of casters in the back there, but really not that much out in the field. Mountain King may try to come in, get a Stormbolt, misses the unit. Beautifully placed there as the Dryads are now going to get in some easy shots. All right, are we going to see some slow attacks? There we go. There's the double. There's an Abolish Magic there. And what's happening here? Oh, Staff of Preservation saves that unit. The Bear from the Stormbolt. Beautifully done. As the Bear, did it use some Moonwells? It looks like it. No, looks like it didn't, in fact. Not quite sure where that unit went and what is going to be happening. All right. Dark Ranger sitting at level 4. We are looking for more creep camps to possibly clear out, but a majority of them have already been cleared. Ancient of War clearing out the creep camps here. You can see our Gargantuan Sea Turtle gonna fall. Panda still gonna be sitting at level 4, but getting ever closer to level 5 as that does go down. All right, Panda now engaging against the Giant Sea Turtle. Giant Sea Turtle will fall. Panda sitting at level 4 here does have a Scroll of Healing and a Scroll of the Beast. Could be some very, very big roars coming around, but I believe the Druids of the Claw will be roaring, and that item will just be sold. Off to the north, Flying Machine now up in the air. You can see that the Mountain King still trying to get in some additional creeping. And this is now a game that Nicker can win. Nickers has been behind for much of the game now, but he is actually posturing himself in a very good position. However, the problem is that he is still sitting on a lot of archers. That archer army is not going to go very well up against the footmen. We need to see more Druids of the Claw. We need to see some more just stronger units overall, and that is what we're starting to slowly see, but the units are also not upgraded. Only their armor, 0-2 armor upgrades. All right, mortar teams are coming in. There are those Spellbreakers, as I mentioned earlier, and Spellbreakers against bears. The bear, if they are in bear form, does win out on the fight. And here you go. There's the engagement. There is a rejuvenation. There's a mana flare. And what is going down there as the sorcerers are now trying to pull to the back? Mortar teams are actually getting a little bit surrounded. There is a breath of fire. And level 5 now on that Panda. Things are looking good. Can the Bears actually win out this fight here? The Dark Ranger sitting at level 4. If the Dark Ranger can get to level 5, that will be a huge deal, as well as the Dark Ranger trying to get another kill there. It looks like, yes, does get the kill off of the Water Elemental. Panda now in a very, very bad way, coming back around the backside. There's a Breath of Fire, gets a little bit of the Mortar Team, and that's about it. Does use a Potion of Healing, and now needs to get back over again. All right, archers are engaging here. The Mortar Teams are doing a lot of damage to that back line, and all the peasants are pretty much gone as a huge Breath of Fire does go down across the line. All right, Panda now getting rejuvenated. There goes another Druid, another Water Elemental. And what are we going to be seeing here? Are we going to perhaps see a little bit more healing? The Fairy Dragons now need to get some extra damage in, as they are going to be phase shifting to not die. All right, let's see. Druid of the Claw down to 250 hit points. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation to save it? Panda now still up in the front. Are we going to see another Breath of Fire? No Breath of Fire needed, as it looks like, wow, the Footman was saved. Not sure why it was allowed to be saved at all, as the Archmage sitting at level 4 and the Mountain King sitting at level 2 are dealing with 2 level 5 heroes coming in combination from the Panda and that Dark Ranger. All right, a new Ancient of War is off over here. There is a Tree of Life here as well, so we are mining 3 bases to 2. Fairy Dragons are now going to essentially take down these guard towers. There they go. There's that roar. Staff of Preservation saves the unit, as the Panda does teleport it all the way back. All right, what's happening next? There is some Fairy Dragons. I don't see where the Dark Ranger is. There she is, right there, as the Panda may get to Earth, Storm, and Fire, and I'm wondering if that's really going to be that effective. Panda does deal a lot of damage. Dark Ranger does have also a Scroll of Healing, so both of them together are going to have a lot of healing and a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. No surprise there, as that Panda is going to be getting within melee range quite often. Staff of Preservation sends the Panda back. Going to go ahead and get back up to maximum mana very easily, and then pick up those items. There you have it. So a 540 mana Panda is looking very, very good. Fairy Dragons here. Are we going to see a rejuvenation on a Fairy Dragon? Yes, we are. The bear is now going back into bear form. Not quite sure why all of them needed to turn back into the druids. You generally want to stay up on mana. They do have better mana regeneration while they're in their druid form. As you see, the flying machine now just flying overhead. 79 over 84 for Yumiko. 89 over 90. So that is a big difference there. And what happened? Did they take down their own unit? It looks like they were attacking something. 89 over 90. Not quite sure why he is not at full out 100. As you can see, the flying machine has scouted out this extra expansion. So 3 bases to 2 right now. However, the bases of his opponents actually mine out or have a bit more gold. These gold mines have less gold, as we're now looking at the Mountain King looking to put pressure on this Tree of Life. All right, there is a Scroll of Town portal. Gonna teleport all the way back, and there you have it. There is the engagement. Fairy Dragons are right there. Are we going to perhaps see? Yes, Mana Flare mode already ready to go. There's a Breath of Fire, and all the units are just on the run. Absolute massacre here, as you see all those units are going to be teleporting away. So far, Panda's just shy, or just what? I guess 2/3 of the way to level 6, not just shy. Where is that? You know what? That Dark Ranger, I keep on swearing it's right in front of me, and I don't see it. All right, we are now into low upkeep coming in from Yumiko. And what's going to be happening here? Priest all right there. Where is that Dark Ranger? Dark Ranger still nowhere to be found. Not getting resurrected. Where is it? There it is. All right, there it goes. All right, there you see the Dark Ranger is right off over there. You can see that the Siege Engine is making its way over, and this is that late game Siege Engine that is just so problematic for so many Night Elf players. No very, very strong Siege units. Yes, Glaive Throwers, but Glaive Throwers just can't do the necessary damage, it appears. As here we go. There goes the bears in the front. Are we going to see a Scroll of Healing? Mountain King is right in the front here. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation on that low hit point bear, as all the units are still giving chase? All right, let's continue to look at it. The mortar teams are just pulling back consistently, and those flying machines aren't really going anywhere at all. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, Mountain King may end up falling. There's a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability to try to save it, as the mortar teams have destroyed a lot of the units in the back there. All right, more siege engines coming back around. Tree of Life is trying to be repaired. Flak cannons now being added. And are we going to see enough units? All right, Nicker now repairing that Tree of Life with multiple Wisp. And this is a huge, huge play here as it loses its fortified armor. The siege engines no longer dealing as much damage, but this is still very, very big problem as Nicker now being forced to uproot and try to save. Yumiko now making its way over, and is Yumiko actually going to take this game even though he is behind on level? There is a Breath of Fire, and there is this constant attack here. All right, in comes more units from the back. Yumiko pretty much with the larger army at this point in this fight, as the Tree of Life is now trying to make its way over. All right, the Hippogriffs are pretty much there to counter nothing, and I think this is pretty much going to be it. There's the Stormbolt onto the Panda. Is the Panda going to be able to get to level 6? Yes, it does. Earth Storm and Fire could come in, and Yumiko says GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.